I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the breakdown of the narrative trailer from Mafia Definitive Edition because there's a hurricane heading my way. So there's a very real possibility that this might be my last video for a while. So obviously Laura happened, and it was more than a few hours that delayed me from finally watching the trailer for Mafia Definitive Edition. So I'm sure most of you have already watched it. And some of you in Discord, when asked, still wanted to see my thoughts regarding a breakdown trailer for... Okay, why not? Let's do it. Article link below in the description section. And we're just I'm gonna like skip through it a little bit. I watched it, and I'll give you guys my thoughts about it. And if you want to watch the video yourself, the trailer, it's linked below in the description section. So here we go. So obviously at the beginning, you have Lost Heaven is voted dry, sale of liquor strictly prohibited because of the Prohibition era and the fact that throughout the United States at this time, alcohol was illegal. Unfortunately, as a result, it did not stop people from drinking. In fact, more people were drinking, and it led to the rise of organized crime. And like Al Capone, for example, many others amassed a huge wealth, fortune, power because of alcohol being illegal, because it didn't stop people from drinking. In fact, it made it a lot more dangerous because some idiots were actually making alcohol in their homes, and they weren't following protocol and guidelines and using, I think what was it, wood alcohol? Yeah, so it was a very, very dumb idea. But anyways, it allowed criminal organizations to make money, become powerful, similar to the war on drugs, you know, with the Mexican cartels, for example. History repeats itself. The next scene is where Tommy's having his very first sit down with Don Salieri, and you have Frank, you have Sam, you have Polly, you have Tommy, and Don Salieri is talking about what is very important to him, what's most important, which is loyalty. That is what matters the most to Don Salieri. If you're loyal to Don Salieri, you do what he asks, then you will be richly rewarded, which is the entire premise of this trailer, a life of reward too big to ignore. There's also some really good images, video of the city of Lost Heaven during certain times of day, at night, during the daytime. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Amazing work that Hangar 13 has done, bringing Lost Heaven to life in 2020 with Mafia Definitive Edition, and obviously the cars from the time period. So what else we got? This scene very early in the game where Sam first meets Tommy. Not exactly a good first impression. One of your friends you first meet is pointing a 1911 at you. Nah, not really. And then of course, because Tommy's a cab driver, he doesn't really want to be shot and killed by this guy pointing a 1911 at him. So yeah, he's quick to acquiesce and allow Sam and Polly into his cab. I mean, what choice does Tommy have, right? Another scene you'll probably see very early on throughout Mafia Definitive Edition is a little back and forth between Tommy Angelo and this detective. So they talk about how you go from at first getting here to America, being kicked around, stepped on, to all of a sudden taking money from Don Salieri, which he doesn't exactly think too highly of. Don Salieri are his money. A scene here shows Tommy Angelo, while he's still a cabbie, being roughed up. Why is he being roughed up? I'm trying not to spoil any of that for you, but it does happen early on in the story of Mafia, so that's a good thing. There's a bit of spoiling going on here and there, but at the same time, the spoilers are from very early in the game. So I knew that Hangar 13 was going to have some spoilers in this trailer, so I'm at least happy that they chose to go with a little bit earlier as opposed to in the middle of the game or near the end of the game when it comes to these spoilers. Here's a scene where you have Polly and Sam cheering on Tommy. I guess they went off to do something, and the bad guys they were after have run off, and Tommy Angelo has hopped on a motorcycle and is now in pursuit of the target. And this is going to be the first time that we see motorcycles added in the Mafia franchise. Very much looking forward to seeing how well the motorcycles handle in Mafia Definitive Edition. I believe this scene, I don't know if this scene happens at the same time as the earlier scene, but Don Salieri is telling his men that he wants basically no mercy, to break bones, to go do what they have to do against Morello's men. Because, you know, the Morellos, the Salieris are not exactly friends. Well, they used to be. But anyways, long story. So you have Don Salieri giving his orders to Tommy and to Paulie and to Sam to go out and, you know, get the job done. And here's what appears to be an interior shot of a shootout happening. Appears to be a restaurant. So I don't want to spoil anything. So obviously, Tommy gun is being used by Tommy. And yes, the Tommy gun was an iconic weapon used during the mob, especially around the 1930s during the Prohibition era. There's a quick scene showing the shootout at the barn. Most of you already know about that from previous trailers, so you're already fully aware of the shootout at the barn. Here you have Tommy appear to be getting into a fight with somebody. Looks like he's about to use his 1911 across this dude's head. So I guess when you're up close and personal, you will have, I suppose, the ability to like smack somebody in the head with your pistol or your revolver, or with the butt of your like rifle, Tommy gun, shotgun, etc. Now here's a scene where Tommy and Frank are going for a drive, and Tommy is joking about how Frank's going to make him some sort of guy on Wall Street. And then you have Frank here saying, hey, you know, there's no time to be joking around. I'm trying to show you the ropes so that you don't get hanged by the ropes. So, yeah, Frank becomes a mentor to Tommy Angelo. He is the consigliere of Don Salieri. So he's obviously a very important figure in the Salieri crime family. So you're going to see a lot of interaction between Tommy Angelo and Frank. They do show a quick scene of Tommy Angelo zipping around on a motorcycle, obviously chasing somebody in Los Angeles. Looks like the sun's setting. There's some streetcars. There's also vehicles from the 1930s time period. Once again, I'm very interested in seeing how well the motorcycles handle in Mafia Definitive Edition. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. And I still wish that they had a motorcycle for Lincoln Clay to ride around on in New Bordeaux in Mafia 3. It'd be nice if they actually added that, like a big, nice Harley for him, especially with his biker outfit. This looks like Tommy right there and Paulie confronting a guy with a baseball bat, attacking him from behind. So I guess you're going to be able to do some sort of takedowns. I don't know if they're going to be stealth takedowns, but looks like if you're able to sneak up on somebody, you might be able to do some sort of stealth takedown, which would be really cool if you had that ability. I know Lincoln Clay had that ability in Mafia 3, where you could go in sneaky or guns blazing, either or both. So hopefully Tommy Angelo will have a similar ability. Here's another shootout. It appears to be raining. There's obviously plenty of red barrels, probably explosive, for Tommy to hit conveniently with his Tommy gun and make him go explosive, Michael Bay-like, in order to help him dispatch these enemies, which I'm guessing is more members of the Morello crime family. Now, there's a scene where you have Don Salieri telling Tommy that if you stay straight with me, you're going to be living the high life. In other words, loyalty is very important to Don Salieri. You're loyal to him, you do the job, you're honest with him, and you're going to be good. This is a scene here where Tommy's in the race, and we've already seen this scene previously, and I hope that the race is a lot more enjoyable than the original version. Yeah. Don Salieri talks about trust in the background, while Tommy says, Don Salieri, you'll never have to worry about trusting me. And meanwhile, in this quick scene, you see Tommy hanging out with, who is that, Vincenzo? I could be wrong about that. He definitely looks like Vincenzo. See, Vincenzo right there. We saw that from, I think, a previous video. All strapping looking right there from the front. It looks like Vincenzo from behind. I could be wrong about that. I believe this is obviously Paulie walking up. I think Sam, that might be Sam right there. So I could be wrong. I think that's Vincenzo. You have someone who is maybe Tommy Angelo or maybe not Tommy Angelo. One thing you got to admire about him is he's following the rules, social distancing. He's wearing gloves. He's wearing that mask to protect himself from the bug. That's good. Good job, Tommy. Well done. And he's going into what appears to be a bank vault. And I think he's making a withdrawal. He has been leaving his money here at the bank of Lost Heaven, and he's like coming in, you know what, I got to make a withdrawal. I gotta do this, I got to do that, got all this stuff going on. And, he's just coming in to make a nice, friendly withdrawal. But don't let the mask fool you. He's simply wearing the mask because of the bug. He's just social distancing, y'all. He's innocent. And there's a scene here where Tommy Angelo is offering a guy a light. He lights up the Zippo, and it accidentally flies out of his hands. It's an accident. It just slips. He's like, hey, you need a light, buddy? Like, sure. And he lights it, right? And it just slips. And boom, lands on him, catches him on fire. Man, that's just a freak accident right there. It's crazy. And you can tell that Tommy's just shocked. He just has a look of shock on his face. He's like, what? He's like, it's just like a moment in time that's frozen for him. He can't believe he was about to give this a guy a light to light up his cancer stick, but he's literally lighting him up. I mean, oof. And this scene at the very end of the trailer is Don Salieri officially welcoming Tommy Angelo into the Salieri crime family. I think I caught all the scenes in the breakdown. Let me know what scenes I missed. Let me know what scenes you liked. And while we're at it, as a bonus, let's read over the articles, shall we? I decided to get the breakdown aspect over with at the very beginning. So article, once again, linked below in the description section. Mafia Definitive Edition, story trailer, plus developer insights. And let's talk about that. Mafia Definitive Edition, second narrative trailer, A Life of Reward Too Big to Ignore, gives you another glimpse into Tommy Angelo's story as he's welcomed into the Salieri crime family. The cinematics on display are particularly special to Thomas, head of production and media and director of Hangar 13, as one of the developers who worked on every game in the series since the original Mafia. Thomas has been an integral part of the cutscene direction and cinematic storytelling that has evolved and advanced over the course of the Mafia trilogy. By the way, obviously this is a scene, I would believe, at the racetrack with Frank and Tommy, and you have Polly and Sam in the background. I'm just speculating that that's probably at the racetrack. Quote, my heart is closest to the original, and I'm very glad we got the chance to revisit it using everything we've learned across the Mafia games. Our main goal with Mafia Definitive Edition was always to keep the spirit of the classic mob story. I strongly believe we kept in everything supporting this goal, and when we made changes, it was in the service of making the characters and deeper and richer. Obviously, all the memorable moments from the original game are super important to us. We were always comparing our work with the original and striving to make the new version same but better. Stylistically, each game was a chance to push the cinematic presentation further, and Mafia Definitive Edition is a culmination of all those advancements. Quote, we always tried to capture the essence of every historical era with all its quirks, good and bad, and cinematic style is heavily dependent on the story that we want to tell. I like the clear, simple, real camera style. I always like my team to imagine a real film scene set up in real rigs, how the camera operator would work, and how we can simulate that. We try to avoid any shots that would be impossible in real life. As technology improved alongside the series, we gotten better animation tools so we could get better action shots, use handheld cameras in particular stressful scenes, utilize depth of field, and so on. Now, this scene is obviously Sarah inviting Tommy Angelo in for a game of baseball. And she has that baseball bat there, and once he sneaks in and he walks past her, she's going to grab that baseball bat and smack him on the back of the head. No, she's not going to do that. Continuing, it's plain to see how far the series has come since 2002's Mafia: The City of Lost Heaven, which just celebrated 18-year anniversary, by the way, and how much Mafia Definitive Edition is a leap forward in its storytelling. As discussed in our recasting of Tommy Angelo and supporting cast articles, which I did do videos of, by the way, being able to fully capture the actors' performances has made colossal differences. Quote, I believe Mafia: The City of Lost Heaven was already well narrated even with all the limitations back then, but we could capture only one actor at a time in the space of 2 by 2 meters, recalled Thomas. No facial captures, no live action interactions between characters, missing eye movements, fingers were cut in one static pose, and so on. All this was limiting us from expressing all the nuances we wanted to show in our cinematics. And in all fairness, this was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, before Mafia, The City of Lost Heaven officially came out in 2002, August. So the technology, the graphics, all that was very limited 18 years ago when that game officially came out. Quote, in Mafia Definitive Edition, we could do anything, Thomas continues. We scanned real actors with all their facial expressions and motion captured us simultaneously record as many of the actors given scene needs, including their voices, facial subtleties, and performance. It's all combined to give Mafia Definitive Edition more fidelity and creates a deeper experience. The fantastic actors and their performances are finally getting through all their beauty and power as we had first pictured the story in our minds. You'll have a chance to see those performances yourself when Mafia Definitive Edition launches on September 25th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, as well as PC. So anyways, that was my breakdown of the second narrative trailer, A Life of Reward Too Big to Ignore. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. I know it's a few days late. Hashtag blame Laura. I would have done it sooner, but my power and my internet was out. But I do appreciate those of you that did take the time to watch this video, even though it is not necessarily new. And once again, your thoughts, your views and opinions, what you enjoyed from the trailer, what you would like to see more of in this narrative trailer. Anything else you got to say about Mafia Definitive Edition? Welcome, as always, below in the comments section.